Welcome back to the Potential Difference Thane-Hines Research Lab. This is video number 2 in the 3-part series introducing the RegenX quantum motor, perpetual motion, and the creation of energy. So in this demo, we're going to be looking at the RegenX quantum generator, and we're going to be discussing the rules which apply to conventional generators which do not apply to the RegenX generator. So maybe we can start with a little reading from a textbook from our Electric Circuits and Machines textbook. Motor action in a generator. So we have generator action in a motor, which is the back EMF that reduces the input current in a motor. And we also have motor action in a generator. So I'm going to read to you what the textbook describes as motor action in a generator. As the armature of a generator is rotated by a prime mover, and the armature is in our generator. As the armature of a generator is rotated by a prime mover, a torque is developed in the generator opposing the action of the prime mover. This counter torque may be considered to be motor action in a generator. So there are some very important omissions in this little text here. So the counter torque that Eugene Lister is talking about is a counter electromagnetic torque. And the counter electromagnetic torque that would be produced in the generator performs negative work on the prime mover, reducing its kinetic energy, opposing the action of the prime mover. So obviously oppose means to work against. Now what's missing in this little blurb here is the identification of the energy that's required to produce the counter electromagnetic torque which opposes the prime mover. So in the history of motor action in a generator, and you can read this entire textbook and every textbook on the planet, you will not be able to identify, you will not be able to find a textbook that explains where the energy comes from in order to perform the torque. And so torque is a twisting action, and twisting action in either direction requires energy. So in this video, what you're going to learn is that the energy that is required for the generator to perform negative work to create a counter electromagnetic torque is created at the subatomic electron level, and it is externalized around a current-bearing wire when the electrons flow in the current-bearing wire. So, again, another simple demonstration. Here we have a permanent magnet motor, and when we rotate our motor in the clockwise direction and we connect the terminals of the generator, now the current is producing an electromagnetic field. The current is externalizing electromagnetic field energy around the generator coils, and the electromagnetic field energy, the quantum energy, is performing negative work, opposing the rotation of the generator. So in this textbook here, what they're doing is they're implying that torque, counter electromagnetic torque, and work, negative work, can be performed without energy. And the reason they're doing that is because they're trying to protect the law of conservation of energy, which is false. And if energy wasn't being created at the subatomic electron level, generator armature reaction, EV regenerative braking, generator counter torque would not even exist. As I've explained in previous videos, when an electron spins and rotates around the nucleus of an atom, it creates electromagnetic field energy, and when current flows in a current-carrying conductor, electrons migrate down the wire, and this electromagnetic field energy is externalized around the wire. This externalized electromagnetic field energy performs negative work in conventional generators, and what we're going to show in this demo is that that same energy can now be harnessed in the RegenX generator in order to perform positive work. So the RegenX generator harnesses created energy, created electromagnetic field energy, to perform positive work. Conventional generators harness created electromagnetic field energy in order to perform negative work. The scientific community will not say that, because otherwise they would have to admit that the law of conservation of energy does not apply in conventional generators. So what they'd rather say is that electric generators have the ability to violate the work energy principle and perform negative work without energy, and call that braking, which is a deceptive term because it's not braking, it's negative motor action in a generator. And what you're going to see in a second in the RegenX generator is positive motor action in a generator. Okay, so in a conventional generator, you cannot, in a conventional generator, if we are adhering to the work energy principle, you cannot have a speed decrease, system deceleration, kinetic energy decrease, or negative work without energy. If this motor is spinning that generator, that generator cannot reduce or decelerate, cannot reduce the kinetic energy of this prime mover without energy. So the new generator rule says that you can have a speed increase, system acceleration, kinetic energy increase, positive work without external energy. And all of this work, acceleration, complementary electromagnetic torque, is performed by created electromagnetic field energy that's created at the subatomic level. So we're going to collect a little bit of data. The conventional generator has absolutely no ability in order to accelerate the prime mover in this case, so we're not even going to look at that. But we're going to collect our data on our RegenX generator or our RegenX quantum motor that is working as a RegenX quantum generator. So again, what we're going to do is bring the system up to rotational equilibrium. We'll note the RPM. We'll note the power consumption to the prime mover. And we're going to generate approximately 120 watts to the battery. We can monitor that here. And what we will see is that the generator will perform positive work and it will accelerate the prime mover. The prime mover's power consumption will go down, and which means that if we look on the torque speed curve, if the prime mover's power is going down, the torque's going down, the current's going down, and yet in our demo, the speed of the system is going up. And so we will be performing positive work, system acceleration. We will be producing a complementary electromagnetic torque, which will increase the kinetic energy of the system, and we will be using energy that is being created at the subatomic level. Okay, let's get going here. Rotational equilibrium, our speed is 3,338 RPM. The prime mover is consuming 559 watts. And now we're going to generate about 120 watts to the battery. And according to all the existing laws of physics, our prime mover power consumption must increase by a minimum of 120 watts. So let's see what happens. piston is going to increase by about 52 RPM, meaning that our generator is performing positive work. It's creating a complementary electromagnetic torque. It's violating Newton's third law and Lenz's law. It's operating at infinite efficiency, and it's harnessing created energy. So what I did there at the end was I reduced the speed of operation of the RegenX generator coil. I reduced the frequency of operation of the coil to below the critical minimum frequency. And we experienced a counter electromagnetic torque. We experienced negative work being performed by created electromagnetic field energy. Again, that's created at the subatomic electron level. It performed negative work below the critical minimum frequency, and it performed negative work below the critical minimum frequency at less than 100% efficiency, and above the critical minimum frequency of operation, the RegenX quantum generator performed positive work. It produced a complementary electromagnetic torque with the exact same energy that's created at the subatomic level, and it operated at infinite efficiency. And that means that because the power consumption to the prime mover went down on load and not up, that means that the prime mover is delivering less mechanical power, less torque to the drive shaft of the generator, less mechanical power to the drive shaft of the generator when it is delivering electric output power. So there is a 0-watt increase in prime mover power consumption when the RegenX generator is generating electricity, as opposed to at least a 1-to-1 increase per generated output in a conventional generator that produces negative work and a counter electromagnetic torque with energy that is being created. So that's basically it. From now until the end of time, all the electricity that is ever needed to be required on planet Earth can now be generated with RegenX generators that operate at infinite efficiency, do not require any additional input power when they're placed on load. In fact, they require less input from the mechanical input from the prime mover. And this is the new generator rule. So stay tuned for video number 3, and we'll just see how much kinetic energy increase, rotational kinetic energy increase we incurred in the RegenX quantum motor and the RegenX quantum generator. Stay tuned. Cheers.